Dr. Rima Sinha. Presently, I am working as Associate Professor in the Department of Pharmacy, Ramis Institute of Vocational and Technical Education, Greater Noida. Today, I am going to give a lecture on proton pump inhibitor, which is part of your syllabus of Medicinal Chemistry 2 of B.Pharm 3rd year. Here, I will discuss what is proton pump inhibitors, why proton pump inhibitors are used, what are the purpose and causes and symptoms of various GIT problem. Then I will discuss classification of proton pump inhibitors. After that, I will also discuss the structure, activity, relationship of proton pump inhibitors. Then I will discuss the mechanism of action of proton pump inhibitors. First is know what is proton pump inhibitors. Proton pump inhibitors are members of a class of medicine whose main action is profound and prolonged reduction of stomach acid production. You see here, this is the stomach, here proton pump is there, it is secrete the gastric acid secretion. They are more potent and longer duration of action of H2 antihistaminic drugs. They act by reversible blocking hydrogen potassium ATPase enzyme of the gastric parietal cells. So, proton pump inhibitors are basically used to reduce excess acid secretion. It is used in the treatment of ulcer, peptic ulcer, and it inhibits the proton pump hydrogen potassium ATPase enzyme of the gastric parietal cells. So, it is a member of class of medicine whose main action is a profound and prolonged reduction of stomach acid production. Here you see the structure of stomach. You see this is the acid constant in stomach. Here there is a glands in the stomach wall which to secrete too much acid. Proton pump inhibitors which are absorbed from the blood stream and suppress the acid production by stomach glands. What are the GIT problems? There are 4 major problems. First is your gastroesophageal reflux disease, which is known as GRD. Second is your gastritis. Third is your peptic ulcer, and fourth is your dyspepsia. These are the main GIT problem: GRD, gastroesophageal reflux disease, peptic ulcer, gastritis and dyspepsia. So, we will discuss one by one. First, you should know what are the causes. First is your unhealthy diet. If you are taking unhealthy diet, junk food, you are not taking calorie content food, then you are feeling your digestion is improper. That will lead you cause of ulcer. Then alcohol use, if you are using too much alcohol. Then some medicine like non-steroidal anti-inflammatory medicine which may cause peptic ulcer on longer use, and this Helicobacter pylori infection may also cause peptic ulcer. What are the symptoms, general symptoms, so that you can identify? First is your heartburn, आपको यहाँ पर जलन फील होगा. Second, you feel heaviness in your stomach. You will feel abdominal pain. See the images. Patient is feeling abdominal pain. Here your feeling is vomiting. Patient is feeling vomiting. So, these are the general symptoms. Now, we will move to what are the causes and symptoms of GRD. You see stomach, peptic ulcer is a break in the inner lining of the esophagus, duodenum or stomach. And what are the causes? GRD, it is a gastroesophageal reflux disease. It is a basically digestive disorder. It caused when gastric acid from your stomach flow back up into your food pipe, that is your esophagus. Heartburn is the most common symptom you feel in the case of GRD. So, basically a digestive disorder. Now, this is your gastritis. What is gastritis? Gastritis is an inflammation, irritation or erosion of the lining of the stomach. See the line, it is inflammation, irritation, erosion of the lining of the stomach. It can occur suddenly, but after some time if you are not taking yourself, then your symptom will lead you chronic condition. So, it gradually it become chronic. Now, what is dyspepsia? Dyspepsia is an uncomfortable feeling in upper middle part of the stomach. You feel uncomfort. See what are the sign and symptom in the case of gastritis, in the case of GRD. Common symptom, that is you feel abdominal pain, see the image, and vomiting, heaviness, flatulencies, burning, heartburn, bloating, you are feeling full of gases. These are the common signs and symptoms which are found in the patient which is suffering from gastritis. Now, the patient who is suffering from GRD problem, the problem is first is symptom is belching, heartburn, vomiting, stomach ache and difficulty in swelling. Patient is not able to take food diet in a proper way. He is feeling difficulty in swallowing the food. Now, the case of dyspepsia, upper abdomen, you will feel pain and discomfort in upper abdomen, bloating, heartburn and blanching, you are feeling your this portion will be just firing like jalanoria, heartburn, and common symptom like nausea and feeling full earlier than the expected when eating. You don't feeling dying to have anything. Before eating you feel like you have already eat. So, you are feeling heaviness. So, there is a various drug which is used to treat these symptoms: peptic ulcer, GRD, dyspepsia and gastritis. What are those drugs? Those drugs are proton pump inhibitors. Those drugs are proton pump inhibitors. In your syllabus, there is 4 proton pump inhibitors is mentioned. One is your omeprazole, another is your lansoprazole, and third is your rabiprazole, and fourth is your pantoprazole. I think you might have taken medicine Rablet D which contain rabiprazole. You have taken Pentocid which contain pantoprazole. These 4 drugs which is mentioned in your syllabus. So, I mention only these 4 drugs, there are other drugs are also there, lansoprazole. These 4 drugs contain the common skeleton. In earlier class, I have already discussed, you should know, you should able to identify the pharmacophore part of the molecules, which is responsible for giving biological activity. So, here you see the general structure of proton pump inhibitors. First you see, this is your benzimidazole, this is your benzimidazole, this part we can say A. B is your sulfine group, C is your pyridine. So, basic nucleus proton pump inhibitors contain benzimidazole, sulfine group and pyridine group. So, all proton pump inhibitor must contain benzimidazole in their nucleus. Now, here you say all contain basic nucleus, but there is minor difference which makes the separate class, like here you see R2, R3 and R4. Variation in R2, R3 and R4. Substitution in this point R2, R3, 4 is different in the case of omeprazole, in the case of lansoprazole, in the case of rabeprazole and in the case of pantoprazole. If you take the example of omeprazole, in that case R2, R3, R4, all these 3 are methyl group. But in case of lansoprazole it is different, in case of rabeprazole R2, R3 is different and similar in case of pantoprazole. So, see the difference in the structure. So, here I have made tabular form, you just see here drugs are in the omeprazole, lansoprazole, rabeprazole and pantoprazole. You see the structure, you take the example of omeprazole. Omeprazole here R2 is CH3, R3, R4, R3 and R4 all are methyl group in the case of omeprazole. But in the case of lansoprazole R2 is methyl, but C2CF3 in the case of R3 and R4 is H. So, see the difference, variation in R3 and R4. Now, you take the example of rabeprazole, R1 is same methyl group, but difference in R3, R4 is also same with lansoprazole. Lansoprazole and rabeprazole R2 and R4 is same, only variation in R3, right. But in case of pantoprazole, you see here R1 is methoxy group, OCH3, this will be methoxy group, R2 will be methoxy group, and but in the case of omeprazole, lansoprazole and rabeprazole, it is methyl group. Okay. Now, R3 here also methyl group in the case of pantoprazole, but R4 is similar H. Lansoprazole, rabeprazole, pantoprazole, in these 3 drugs will contain R4 is H. Now, here you see the star, that is methyl group is attached in all the omeprazole, lansoprazole and rabeprazole, but in the case of pantoprazole, here structure will be CHF2. here structure will be CHF2, right. So, if you write the structure of pentoprazole, so here you will change, not you have to write methyl group, star mark is there, star mark means this star group will be here, that is your CHF2 difluoromethane group. So, this is the chemical structure of pentoprazole. Now, we see the individual, how it looks, lansoprazole structure wise, rabiprazole, pentoprazole, you see here and compare the structure. Here lansoprazole is there and rabiprazole is there. If you compare these two structure, you will find benzimidazole is common in both these two cases. This group is also common, sulfin group, and pyridine group is also common. Only difference in R2, R3 and R4, that you see here is the only difference in the case of lansoprazole and rabiprazole. So, you will remember the structure like this: benzimidazole, sulfin group, pyridine group. These are the common in all cases. Only difference is this portion where we have written R2, R3 and R4. Now, we move next structure, that is your pentoprazole and omeprazole. If you compare these structure, here also this is common, benzimidazole, these two are common here also, and compare with the previous, there is also these two are common. This sulfine group is also common and this pyridine group is also common. Only difference is R2, R3 and R4. So, here you will find the difference and here you will find the difference. In omeprazole it was the OCH3, but in the case of a CHF2, you have to remember I have written this like a star CHF2, see the CHF2. So, this is the structure of pentoprazole and omeprazole. I have given the image of some product like pentoprazole, heartburn relief, omeprazole. These are the proton pump inhibitors which are used generally. Now, we will discuss the structure, activity, relation of CPAP proton pump inhibitor. Just like we have earlier we have discussed in previous lecture, antihistaminic drug, H1 receptor antagonist, H2 receptor antagonist, SAR of. So, similar way we will discuss SAR of proton pump inhibitors. So, first you see the general structure. General structure is benzimidazole, sulfin group and pyridine group. This is pyridine, sulfin group, and this is benzimidazole ring. All proton pump inhibitors must contain basic nucleus, that is your benzimidazole, substituted pyridine and sulfinyl chain. So, these are the basic requirement for the proton pump inhibitors. Sulfin chain is the connecting between benzimidazole and pyridine. It is essential for the activity. If you substitute benzimidazole, by electron withdrawing group, then activity will increase, right. if we substitute benzimidazole by electron donating group, then activity will be decreased. So, if any substitution, suppose here X, if it is fluoro, chloro, then activity will increase, because these are electron withdrawing group. If we substitute this group by electron donating group, then activity will decrease. Now, 4-methoxy group in the pyridine ring increases the biological activity. You have seen the substitution R2. if यहाँ पर यदि आप करते हैं मिथॉक्सी ग्रुप OCH3 ग्रुप लगाते हैं pyridine ring में, then activity will be increased. Substitution of 4-methoxy group on pyridine ring will increase the activity. Similar, a fluoroalkoxy substitution result strong inhibitory activity, that means strongest proton inhibitor drug. If you substitute the drug by fluoroalkoxy group, then your drug will be the strongest drug. It acts as a strong proton pump inhibitor. So, this is all about the SAR of benzimidazole. So, you have to identify basic pharmacophore which is required for the activity. So, sometime question may be asked like, what are the basic nucleus present in proton pump inhibitors? You must remember benzimidazole, sulfine group and pyridine. Benzimidazole is required for the activity. So, this is all about the SAR of proton pump inhibitors. Now, I will discuss the mechanism of action of proton pump inhibitors. How proton pump inhibitors act? Simple way, you see here, this is the stomach, acid production by proton pump, it release H plus, acid is produced by proton pump, potassium iodine ATPase enzyme. What proton pump inhibitors do? They reduce the proton pump and reduce the acid secretion. So, proton pump inhibitor bind with proton pump and block the action of proton pump. So, there is no excess acid. In this way, it prevent the excess secretion of acid. So, we will discuss in detail. See, when you are taking histamine, any drug, when histamine is released, it bind with S2 receptor. Okay. It increase the cyclic AMP, activate calcium release, and this calcium release will accelerate proton pump to release acid. Here carbonic acid will be H2CO3 is formed by the carbonic anhydrase enzyme. After that is break into H plus and bicarbonates ion. These bicarbonates ion will leave there and it chloride ion. Now, there is exchange between bicarbonates and chloride. Now, this H plus is here. Now, this chloride ion will come to lumen of the stomach through the channel calcium. Here hydrogen ion and potassium ion exchange will take place, or hydrogen ion will be inside the lumen of the stomach. Now, this H plus or ye changes Cl minus will form HCl. Now, the excess secretion of HCl. Proton pump inhibitor PPI in short, what they will do? They will block the proton pump or inhibit the secretion of H plus and reduce the gastric acid secretion. In this way, proton pump inhibitors are work. What are the side effects when you are taking proton pump inhibitors? Side effects are osteoporosis, lack of calcium in the bones, then bones will be lead to fracture in bone. Low iron, vitamin B deficiency will cause anemia, pneumonia, cholesterol deficient infection and kidney disease. These are the recognized long term side effect of proton pump inhibitors. You see, these are the danger side effect if we are taking long term of proton pump inhibitor. Question is, how you deal with that proton pump inhibitors? कैसे आप डील करोगे कि आप प्रोटॉन पम्प इनहिबिटर्स ना लो? कभी कभी आपके मेडिसिन की वजह से भी, आई हैव टोल्ड यू, like non-steroidal medicine you are taking, in that case we also feel peptic ulcer. How will you avoid? So, how can you deal with this problem? There is a 3 methods. One is your lifestyle. You change your lifestyle. How will you change your lifestyle? Second, your neutralizing acid. This is a short term. And third is you can take proton pump inhibitors. There is a 3 options how to deal with this problem. So, if you are taking lifestyle, how will you change your lifestyle? First slide I have shown you, don't use alcohol. You leave smoking, you don't take alcohol, you take proper diet, you change your eating habit, morning walk, you try to avoid unnecessary stress, unnecessary unhealthy diet, morning walk, yoga, these should be included in your daily routine. And when you take food, then after taking your food, your posture should be accordingly. If you not maintaining posture after meal, then it will develop peptic ulcer. Second is neutralizing acid. Sometimes you are having some antacid like in home remedy, you are taking something like, these are the short term therapy. If you are not maintaining your lifestyle, if you are not change your food habit, if you are not include your physical exercise in your daily routine, then you will face peptic ulcer like problem in day to day problem. Okay. Next is your blocking acid secretion. So, how will you block the acid secretion? Either you take proton pump inhibitor or H2 receptor antagonist like ranitidine, famotidine, like this. Okay. So, try to change your lifestyle, that is your better option to avoid to take proton pump inhibitors. So, you can manage your life by maintaining your lifestyle, and you can avoid neutralizing acid and proton pump inhibitors type of medicine. So, friends, I have just discussed all about your introduction part of your proton pump inhibitors, various GIT symptoms, cause, symptoms, how will you identify, then structure of proton pump inhibitors, common basic nucleus which are present in proton pump inhibitor, structure activity relationship and mechanism of action of proton pump inhibitors, how omeprazole, pantoprazole, rabeprazole, lansoprazole works, and after that the side effect when we are taking long term of proton pump inhibitors, and dealing the problem like proton pump inhibitor, how we will deal by, there is a 3 factor you have to remember, lifestyle, neutralizing acid, and either you take medicine or proton pump inhibitor and aspirin inhibitors. So, friends, this is all about this. Now, the common effect of proton pump inhibitors is headache, stomach pain, nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, constipation. So, these are the common symptoms. Thank you, friends.